As you know very well, Prime Minister Netanyahu is a master of the political game, seizing whatever political moment he can. And he, in English, directly addressed the American students on campuses and described, in his view, what these protests were. I'm going to play that for a moment so you can listen.
What's happening on America's college campuses is horrific. Anti-Semitic mobs have taken over leading universities. They call for the annihilation of Israel. They attack Jewish students. They attack Jewish faculty. This is reminiscent of what happened in German universities in the 1930s.
Senator, you've probably seen some others say the same thing, even in the media, you know, hearkening back to the 1930s Europe. I wonder whether you think that's an accurate description of what is happening on American campuses.
Well, I think, look, I am Jewish. My family was slaughtered by Hitler. I am very sensitive to anti-Semitism, as I hope all Americans are. And we've got to make sure that there is no anti-Semitism, not only on college campuses, but all over this country. But what Netanyahu is doing, and you're right, he is a very crafty politician. If the whole world, Christian, is condemning your war policies, which have now killed or injured 5% of the people in Palestine, have destroyed the infrastructure. The whole world will say, what are you doing? What he has done is deflect attention, and the American media, by and large, has fallen for it to say any protest against Israel, it's anti-Semitic. If you're talking about how the two-thirds of the people who have been killed or injured are women and children, not Hamas participants, women and children, that's anti-Semitic. If you're talking about 70% of the housing damaged, that's anti-Semitic. If you're talking about how the United Nations and humanitarian organizations are worried about famine, children right now, today, in Gaza, are dying of malnutrition. If you talk about that, you're anti-Semitic. Well, I think the American people are not going to fall for that. Netanyahu is insulting the intelligence of the American people. He has got to be held accountable for the actions of his right-wing extremists and, by the way, racist government. And charging or claiming that everybody who was critical of him is anti-Semitic is really quite disgraceful.
What do you think now is going to happen to Biden and his campaign?
Well, in terms of his campaign, you know, I am thinking back, and other people are making this reference, that this may be Biden's Vietnam. Lyndon Johnson, in many respects, was a very, very good president. Domestically, brought forth some major pieces of legislation. He chose not to run in '68 because of opposition to his views on Vietnam. And I worry very much that President Biden is putting himself in a position where he has alienated not just young people, but a lot of the Democratic base in terms of his views on Israel and this war.